keeping it real and raw. No sugarcoating, no BS. Get real with your host, Mark Lyford.
So what's the end goal? You got to have an end goal. Whatever you're working towards, whatever you're doing in life, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, even if you're not, you still got to have an end goal. What's the end goal for whatever you're doing? Ask yourself this question because it's vitally important to know the end goal. Yes, a lot of the fun is in the process of achieving that end goal. And you've got to, of course, live life to your best of ability while you're achieving that goal and you're striving. But if you can ask and clearly define what the end goal is, it's going to make it, one, a lot easier, but two, then you can transition to try and think, how can I be living not just towards that end goal, but what can I be doing now in my life or my business to at least be having some resemblance of that end goal? I'll give you an example. Let's say your end goal is that you want a nice house, you want to live in a certain place, and the whole nice house thing is completely subjective, of course. But let's say you've picked where you want to live, you know where you want to live, and you know where you want your business to be. Try and build things towards living like that now. If you're deciding what you want to do as a business, as an entrepreneur, ask yourself what you see yourself doing in 10 or 20 years. And if you say to yourself, well, I've got to do something else to be able to get there, ask yourself, do you really? I'm not one for living your passion and all of that, because the reality is most people's passions can't become a business. But if you've got something in mind and you think, right, in 10 or 20 years or whatever period of time it is to achieve this end goal, because the end goal is not financial. The end goal may have a degree of finance, but the end goal is what your life is going to be like. What's the painted picture of your life going to be at once you've achieved your end goal? I achieved my end goal, albeit temporarily, in May 2000. Long time ago. I remember driving down a freeway in Fort Lauderdale, going back to Fort Lauderdale Airport, getting ready to fly back to the Bahamas. It was a Thursday afternoon. I can always remember it. And I tapped the dashboard of the car thinking, Mark, you've made it. You've got to where at the time my end goal was. That feeling of, at the time, fulfillment, happiness, of course, and feeling that I'd got where I wanted to get to, the thing I've been working towards for 8 years. I was living in the Bahamas. That was a big goal of mine. Money wasn't a problem. Business was going well. And I achieved it. I can still remember it was a Thursday afternoon. And you've got to ask yourself how you can put yourself there. Now, if you're thinking of changing what you're doing, or you would really like to be doing something else to achieve this end goal, and you're bored doing what you're doing, or you're not fulfilled, ask yourself, how can you actually start doing the thing that you think you need to do to achieve that end goal, but start doing it now? Can you be doing the type of business that you see yourself be doing in 10 or 20 years to achieve it? How can you start doing that now? And that's the key. As I said, end goals are not to do with money in the bank. They're to do with what your life represents when you've achieved that end goal and how your life looks. Keep it real. Thanks for listening. Catch you again.
You've been listening to the Get Real podcast with Mark Lyford. Being an entrepreneur isn't all glitz and glamour. Entrepreneurs are some of the most hard-working people in the world. And within entrepreneurship, there's life, mental health, business, ups and downs. And that's why we exist. Our passion is to talk about all of it with no BS. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. Find Mark on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube at Mark Lyford. And be sure to hit the website, realeNtrepreneur.com. From there, get his book. You won't be disappointed. See you next time on Get Real.